Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the books or the book series that I want to start in 2022. So let's jump in. There are 5 series that I want to start to read. These are series that I have been wanting to read for a really long time. But being that some of these are 14 or 10 or 9 book series, I don't think that's very feasible. So I'm going to be talking about 3 that I definitely want to start this year. One of them I know I will finish because it's a trilogy, but the other 2 are very high up there in numbers of books in the series, so I don't necessarily want to finish those. But then I'll have 2 honorable mentions that I do want to try and start, but being that some of these are just high up there in numbers, I don't want to bombard or overwhelm myself with starting so many series, being that I am in the middle of another author's series that I do want to continue reading. So I don't want too many series started, but these are just some that I really have been wanting to read for such a long time that I think it's time to start them. And I have been intimidated by a few of these. So again, I don't want to overwhelm myself. Let's start off with the one that I have been dying to read for a really long time, which is the Wheel of Time series. This is a series that's 14 books long, and okay, if we're talking about a 14 book series, that's 200-300 pages. Some of these are real chunkers, so I don't see myself finishing these books within this year, because again, there are 14 books, and even if I read a book a month, I would not be able to finish this series in the year. So I want to at least get halfway through this series, maybe even a little bit less. I don't even see myself reading a book a month in this series, but I do want to start it and I want to get a few books in. The first book in this series was written in 1984 but wasn't published until 1990, so it is an older series. And there's something about it that just appeals to me. I feel like that out of all the series that I want to read, this is the easiest one to get through in my eyes. I don't know if it's just the covers or I don't know, but something about it gives me like the easiest to get through. From what I can gather, this series is about a chosen one. It's about good versus evil. We have a dark one, and all these things are just things that really spark my interest. There's a very well-loved middle grade series that has these same tropes in, so I feel like it's time to delve into the adult fantasy world where there's good and evil and chosen one aspects into it. I'm just really excited to finally be reading The Wheel of Time in 2022. Let's jump into another series. This is a trilogy that seems a little bit easier or a little bit less intimidating to me because it is a trilogy, and it is the Farseer Trilogy by Robin Hobb. Robin Hobb is just an author that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and reading so much horror for the past couple of years, I really haven't given fantasy a really good go. I mean, I've been reading Brandon Sanderson in chronological order, and that's really been my fantasy dive in for the past couple of years. I've read other things here and there, but that was my main focus for a really long time. But again, I haven't been really diving into fantasy a lot, and I love fantasy and sci-fi so much, but horror has just been overtaking my life, as you guys know. So in 2022, I want to dive into fantasy more, and this is why I'm making this video, sort of to like propel me to go ahead and do so finally. And the Farseer Trilogy, man, like I don't know what it is with me and reading authors' works in chronological order. This is just how my brain functions. I need to do everything in a certain order, and this is Robin Hobb's first trilogy, and I'm just excited to jump in. This is the first in a 5-series set. So this whole world is set in the realm of elderlings, and they all interconnect with each other. I mean, I'm guessing because they all are part of a series, but this is the first trilogy in that set of series. I really don't know what to expect with this trilogy. From what I can see, I think this is a first-person narrative, and it is told from our main character Fitz. And the first 3 books in this set of the series or of this world is Fitz recounting past memories, and I'm just super excited. Being that this is a trilogy, I do plan on reading this and finishing it in 2022, and I'm hoping to, with this one, read a book a month, and then we'll go into the next set in the series. But my main focus right now is focusing on that first trilogy, and I'm just super eager to see what this very loved trilogy or set is about. Next series that I want to dive into in 2022 is a book that I actually hauled in December from my Barnes & Noble book haul, my 50% off sale book haul. And I got the first book, but I've been eyeing this series for a really long time. This series has 9 books in it, and it is the Expanse series. I love a good sci-fi. I love a good horror sci-fi, but I love sci-fi. I love watching sci-fi. So I think it's time to dive into an adult series, because I've read a lot of YA sci-fi books that I have loved, but I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think I've ever read an adult sci-fi series that's not horror. This series is set in a futuristic world where we have colonized the solar system. From what I can understand, there is no interstellar traveling between the worlds. There is a way to travel, but it's not interstellar. And also there is a conflict between Earth, Mars, and all the outer planets. I know that there is the 9-book series, and then there is novella companions and short story fiction from it. In 2022, they're supposed to be releasing all these short fictions and companion works in one book, which I can't remember the name of the book right now. Something Legions is the name of it, and we'll see how I fare with the whole entire series. I might buy that one, I might not. We'll see what happens after that, but right now I'm just going to be focusing on the actual books within the series, not the companions to it. But like I said, I did buy the 10th anniversary edition in my Barnes & Noble haul, and it is just so pretty, and this cover is really calling out to me. The first book is Leviathan Wakes, and I'm hoping to dive into this one very soon. So those are my main focuses for 2022, but like I said, I do have 2 series that are in the back burner that I really want to read as well, but I don't know, because again, these are just series that are super long, and if we're looking at the series that I just spoke about, we're looking at a total of like 20 something books. So the other 2 that I'm really interested in, the first one, I started watching Brittany's channel recently, I want to say maybe like 3 months ago, and she keeps talking about this series that is just like calling out to me. I tried to start it in November. I think I got like 5 pages in, and only because it was on Kindle Unlimited I started it, but I think I got like 5 pages in, but I was in the middle of so many other books and so many other things that I wanted to do for my channel and things like that, and we were getting into December and winter and Christmassy reads, so I decided to put it down. But I'm really interested in reading a Malazan Book of the Fallen. There's just, I don't know if it's just the way she talks about it, or I don't know what it is, but I'm just really curious by it. This is a 10-book series, so it's a little daunting. I mean, it's less than The Wheel of Time, but I see Malazan being a lot more difficult to get through than The Wheel of Time for some reason. And so, yeah, that is just one that I'm looking at, that is intriguing me, that is calling out to me, but we'll see what happens with that one. Another one that I'm interested, and it's going to be the last and final series that I'm going to be talking about in this video, is the Game of Thrones series. Okay, so I did mention a Game of Thrones earlier, how I started reading book 1. I think it took me 3 years to finish it because I just could not get into it. I had seen the first episode in season 1 of the show, And because of that, I was able to get through book 1 with difficulty, and it took me a really long time because I kept pausing it and like going months without reading it, and then I would start it again, and then I would go months until finally I finished it. But upon finishing book 1, I decided, listen, this is just not for me. I decided to watch the show, binged the hell out of that show, and became, I was gonna say mildly obsessed, but it was more than mildly obsessed. I was extra obsessed with the show. My husband and I were both like so wrapped up in that show, and we had like a show hangover after that. I want to rewatch the show, but the show inspired me to continue on with the books. I think it'll be easier for me to follow along. I know there are differences, and I know the books haven't been finished, but I just feel like because I've seen the show, it'll be easier, especially with all the characters that are in this book and all the politics. I feel like it'll be easier now to continue on with the books. So I do want to go into book 2 at some point, but I don't know that it'll be this year with all of the other series that I want to start, and because I'm also in the middle of Brandon Sanderson's books. So I don't know, I think it'll be a bit much. I might rewatch the show and then decide, hey, yes, this is something that I want to do, but for the time being, this is sort of like in the back burner as well with Malazan. So those are all the series that I want to start in 2022. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you love them, if you hate them, and which one do you suggest I start with? Which one do you suggest that I just jump into? Like, don't waste any more of your time, girl. Like, jump into now. You need to read this. Let's chat books in the comment section down below. That is everything for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.